All right, welcome back to my storage guide video here. We're now on storage box 2, Heroes and Miniatures box. Now this one is mostly pretty easy to follow. You just look at the pictures and that should pretty much kind of fill you in. There is 2 trays in this, but I thought I'd kind of go through it anyway and hopefully be able to help you if you have any questions. So tray 1, which is this top tray here, is going to be the section on the right. And then tray 2 is this section here on the left. Now we've made it pretty easy for you to be able to kind of fill this in because actually these areas are filled up with basically per class in most cases. So it should be pretty easy, but we'll kind of walk through it. These sections here are the Kemet Lords, well, except for this one here, or these 3, sorry. So these sections here are the Kemet Lords that come in the storage box, or if somehow you get it in a separate way, I believe it just mostly comes in the storage box, but they should already be in here. We're going to continue filling out this middle section, which are all special related characters. Now these ones can fill in as other classes, but they're officially special characters. So this one right here is the Emperor's Tiger. This guy, and this is the, I believe, is this the new one? No, I think this is the older version here. So he will fit into this spot right there in the middle of the tray. This one, and then this is the older Emperor before he was reworked. These ones all came in the Imperial box or the Legendary box, which it's also known as. So they all fit there in the center. Next here is the Old Huron. This is one that came in the original campaign. He is a special. And he is going to sit right here next to Solnertha. You'll see there's one more spot here, and that is for our other bad guy who my wife has already painted for me, thankfully. This is Golug here. He comes from the Tanares Adventures box, and he's just going to sit here right in the middle, kind of being the center of attention. All right, so let's start from the top left, and then we'll kind of go around. So this section here is the Brute section. Most of the other boxes tried to put like classes together, so you should be able to kind of look in the same area to find characters that fit. But let's start here. If we go to the Tanares Adventures box, which by the way, I have the other trays laid out. Tanares Adventures, Legendary, Penumbral Pack, and then the Tanares Adventure. So Arena of the Contest, I think I messed this up. Arena of the Contest, Legendary box, Penumbral Pack, and the Tanares Adventures box. All right, so we're going to start here at the top left with our Brute characters. We have Qatar and Cedric here. So Qatar will basically just sit sideways right there, and he has like a little well to even kind of grab him from. And then Cedric will sit over here to this right hand side. That's it for all the Brutes in the Arena of the Contest box. Let's move to the Legendary box next. We have Morlo the Minotaur and Count Blake. They should be placed. Morlo is a big boy. He's going to sit here right in the center, just kind of hogging up all the room there. And then just to his left will be Count Blake, and Count Blake will be looking here to the left. So that is it for the Legendary box. Now we're going to go to the Penumbral Pack. There is 2 guys here for the Penumbral Pack. Gaknak here on the left, and Balmu, I think is how you say his name here. He is, both of these from the Penumbral Pack will sit actually right next to each other in the bottom. So there you go. Just like that. There is only one guy left, and that is Herodotus here from the Tanares Adventures box. He's also an Aeon Trespass character that crossed over, and he is just going to sit, I believe, in pretty much like a vertical kind of direction. So his sword's going to be a little bit off to the side, but mostly kind of faced up in this. So that's the brute section. We finished that. Awesome. Let's move here to the top right. These are the bruisers. Primarily, most of our bruisers are going to come from the legendary box, although there is a few that are also in the penumbral pack. All right, this here is Askren, the Archangel. He's going to sit here in the left section. Little tight spot there for him to hold into. Then we have Tanares the Demon. He will be here at this top left. Next up, let's continue actually just going through our bruisers here. Well, I guess, yeah, okay, here we go. He's up here, our other two. Make sure I got all of them out. So on the right here, we have Rankir, the Dragon Avenger, and then Oris, the Monk. All right, we have Rankir, the Dragon Avenger here on the right, and Oris, the Monk here on the left. Both of them are bruisers. They all just have this zenithal priming on them. Otherwise, they look like yellow. So Rankir going here on the left. Looks like Oris is going to sit... Whoop, I think I get a... Oops, yep. I was always kind of worried that this would happen. So I'll re-glue that guy here later, but basically it looks like he should. I will come back to fix this one later. All right, next up is we have Lord Wrath, and then we'll move here to, well, there should be two more here. So we have, from the Tanares Adventures box, we have Lord Wrath and Anariel. Anariel here will sit just below Tanares. And then Lord Wrath is going to just sit just to the right of her. And just got to get him in the right orientation. So he's just kind of like pulled back a little bit to the right where his sword is more in line with like the bottom of the tray, and his cape's kind of shooting out a little bit. Then to the right, and so that's the Tanares Adventures box. Next we have Cordal, the barbarian here. Barbarian, well, I guess he's like the orc war boss leader. He's actually a bad guy later, earlier in the Wasteland Expedition campaign. But anyway, he is a bruiser and he is sitting here. So that is the bruiser section. Okay, so you'll notice that there's two extra spots here that are goblins, that they belong to Cordal and like his abilities. That's the reason why there's goblins right here. So just so you have everything you need to play, you know, if you're going to use Cordal, it's already right here. So there's two goblins, and this actually comes in the penumbral pack. So in fact, they shouldn't be too far from Cordal, and basically just fit both of those guys right there. Boom, now you're ready to play there with Cordal. All right, next up here is our tanks. So let's go back to the Arena of the Contest box. We have two tanks from Arena of the Contest. Jorana, who is going to be right here, and she's going to be pointing off to the right with her spear. And then just to her left is Rurik. Then we have Sir Eric here in the left-hand spot. He is from the Legendary box. Let's see, so the symbols, you should be able to kind of match those up. He's up here at the top right here of the Legendary box. All right, so Sir Eric right here. He will go here in that left-hand spot. Followed by Necrol, who is the Death Knight. He'll go right there. All right, next up is a character from the Tanares Adventures box and Isofaran Guard. This is Sir Gregory. He will sit right there in that spot. And now we are going to go to the Penumbral pack next. We have two characters, Sadura, who is actually a main character here in the Tanares Adventures campaign story. She will sit right there. She will show up for like, I think a couple quests. Of course, you could still, play her in the story, and this is Ombolo, who's also from the Penumbral Pack. He will sit just to the right of her. But Sadura, you can play her in a couple quests. Of course, there may be some sections where it really wouldn't make sense, so you'd have to like replace the miniature since she is part of the story. So if you wanted to play her as a character. All right, so let's move to this bottom left section, which is all of our tacticians. From the Penumbral Pack here, we have the new Huron. He also came in the Mystical Pack. He fills up this big spot right here at the top right. All right, this one is one that once it originally came into broke into two pieces, where basically, and it's really not a big thing. It's actually just the peg on the foot of this character popped out of here, and it just needs to be like glued back on. This is Ravel. But it's actually would be easier to paint this in two sections than one. So we haven't gotten to doing that part yet. But Ravel will sit here in this center section here for the tacticians. Just to the left of her is Magenta, the witch hunter, I believe. She is also from another game. I'm forgetting the name right now, but she is a tactician, and she'll be sitting right there. Just below her is, and we'll pull out both here just so we can kind of move along a little quicker. We have Rakaru the samurai, and then we have Garen. Garen, somebody knocked it off in a convention and broke off his sword. So I'm just gonna repair that one here eventually, but because we had already done it. But this here will be Rakaru's spot. Next to him will be Garen, and he sits all the way in down there. Now normally a sword would kind of point out up this way. Next up is our legendary box characters. So we have Mir and Mir here on the right, and then on the left here is I'm forgetting. I know she's the pirate lady. I don't play her quite as often, so I'm blanking on her name right now. I'm sure somebody in the comments will probably get it eventually. But anyway, so Mir goes right there, and then God, I can't believe I forget her name, but the pirate lady there, who's also tactician, will sit in this section. All right, so we've finished tray 1. We're gonna pop this out, put the lid on this guy, and now we're gonna start on, and this also has the pull-outs there. I'm gonna flip this over just so it's easier to see here on camera. And now we're gonna start on tray 2. And now we're gonna look here at the top, the left section. Let's start with our controllers at the top left, which there's quite a few of those. So we'll go over here to the Arena of the Contest box, pull those out. So we have Zafara here on the right, Katarina here on the left. So Zafara will go first, and then we will put Katarina right there next to her. Moving to the legendary box, we have two characters. We have Zund and Ellerine. These are not painted yet, but we'll get there, just like I'm sure many of you guys working on doing that. So Zund, definitely a community favorite, but in a very awkward way, will sit there. And just to his left will be Ellerine, who's kind of pointing off to the left. Next, let's do the Tanares Adventures box, because I know there's just two more here. Oh, sorry, we actually did miss one from the legendary box. So the legendary box actually doesn't come with this character, but this one was like a reward day 1 that you could get. Medusa. there was extra spots in here basically to be able to put like another character. So at the time we had done that. So you can just put Medusa down here. And that should be all of the Legendary Box characters. All right, next up to Tanares Adventures box, we have Nero, who's from Black Rose Wars, and we have our succubus character. Man, I did not drink enough coffee, I think, this morning. So she'll go over here on the left, and then Nero will sit right next to her. And it's kind of funny, he's sitting just a little bit to the left, but that's where they will fit. You notice that there's actually a spider here, and this is important because we're going to be moving to the Penumbral pack, and one of these characters uses a spider as part of his abilities. So this is Gazzini here with Zenithal Prime. We'll put that there. All right, the spider should be in the Penumbral pack, but he could also come in the Tanares Adventures box as well. So there's 2 of these spiders. So it just depends on where you pulled from earlier, because in total there's 4 spiders. But they're just going to go here and here for those, and that'll finish up the spiders that will be used with Gazzini, which is why these spiders exist in this box. All right, going back to the Penumbral pack, here is Verant. He is one of the characters that was created by Ed Greenwood, and he is a controller, and he'll sit right there. All right, last but not least is our ninja here, Suyoko. She is used, starts as a controller. That's why she's purple, but she actually has the ability to flip to become a tactician. So she's probably one of the more unique characters because of that. And she sits right here. She also came originally in the villain pack if you were around when we had the different packs. All right, so let's go to the top right, which are all of the shooter heroes. So up here at the top right, this is from Arena of the Contest. We have Avalum, the wizard there, Neri, the huntress, who will be basically, it's like they're in a battle. Neri's gonna try to blank face, like right in front of his face, shoot him with an arrow, and he's gonna blast her in the face with magic. So that is those 2. Let's go to the next part here, which is Juliet, and man, I don't know what it is. I did not have enough coffee. So Juliet here on the right, and then our sorcerer here on the left, who is a shooter. So they will, and they're both from the Legendary box. They will just kind of fit in there like that. Looks like Juliet kind of needs to turn a little bit left to sit all the way down. And I think he needs to sit, yeah, a little bit to the right. So then they'll, both fit in there like that. All right, next up is our characters here from the Penumbral pack. So I always mess up their names in this as well, but this one I believe is Volani. So I always get them back and forth. One of these is Volani. One of these, this one is Jessa. I know this is Jessa. And then there's this one right here. And I always, because these characters are kind of similar, and they're all shooters, I always get their names messed up. But anyway, the one that holds the lightning in between her hands, she's an elementalist in the RPG. She will sit right here. There we go. Then I believe, like I said, that this one's Volani. She'll sit right here in the right hand side. And then Jessa here on the left. Let me just make sure I got this all the way in there correctly. There. All right, so that is all of our shooters. We're almost, we're getting close to being done here. Now we have the healers to do next. Let's go to the Arena of the Contest box. We have Talia, the druid, and Tarim, the cleric there. Tarim will go first, followed by Talia. It's good to have, some of these that can help hold it, so hopefully they don't break off. Then we're going to go to the legendary box. We have Jade and Ustar. So Jade will be down here in this bottom section, and followed by Ustar here just to the left of her. Then on the right hand side we have one character from the Tanares Adventures box. That's Nynx. She's from Madara. She will go here on the left. Then jumping back to the Penumbral pack here, we have two healers, Chiron and the Water Elementalist here. These guys will be placed here. The Water Elementalist has a big section because he's got that big dragon, and then here's Chiron. We'll go right there. Fits just perfectly like that. All right, we're almost done. We have the commanders to do and then the specials. Let's finish up. So most of the commanders are actually in the Tanares Adventures box, so it is pretty easy to kind of find those. So here is the Beast and the Beast Master. They are should be right next to each other. Yep. So just to the left and the right. And I'm just kind of jumping around as I'm like pulling them out of the box. So maybe, you could do it a different way. But here's the Valkyrie and her Pegasus. And the Pegasus, wow, okay. So interesting. Her Pegasus is actually a little bit far away from her. So it's down here and she's up there. All right, next up is Colette and her mummy there. Colette seems to fit right here in this center spot. And then the mummy looks like it is all the way down here, well, kind of diagonal from her. All right. We now have Skara and Gladius. Gladius will go down here in this spot right there. And then we have Skara, who will be over here. So in the previous boxes, all the pets were like right next to their commanders. This time it looks like it's kind of split up, probably for just, space-wise needing it. So we have the Cerberus and blanket on his name right now, the Warlock character. And it's actually funny because I did name that character and now I can't even remember it. Anyway, so he is gonna go right there. So they are diagonal from each other. And we only have one more set of commander and pet left. We have the revised Emperor, the Emperor Supreme, and his Tiger, the new version, that are right here. So we'll put the Emperor in this spot there. In fact, yeah, it's not like the picture at all. So the Tiger will face up like this with his tail down, and that's where he goes. So just so you know that this picture is slightly incorrect. All right, we are almost there. The last ones are the three characters as part of the Tanares Adventures campaign, well, part of the story, and then these are now the new Tanares Ultimate Heroes, because they finally got their own hero pads and hero cards. So we have Herodrin here on my left hand. He's going to sit here at the top left. Then we have Zalir, who will sit here, the Scholar. And then we have Sarah next, and she will sit there. You'll notice that there's one last spot. That is for Talisa, who is part of the Dragon Collection box. So if you own that, then she will go there. If you don't own the Dragon Collection, then you just basically have one extra spot. All right, let's finish this up. I have Talisa here from the Dragon Collection. She's actually the only hero that can come as a pre-painted option if you buy the pre-painted version of the Dragon Collection. So that way you kind of save yourself from having to paint her yourself. But anyway, she should go, I believe, like right here. All right. And there we go. So that is where Talessa will sit. That's the end of tray 2 and the end of the boxes here for the Heroes and Miniatures storage box 2. So I'm just gonna drop this in like that. Put tray 1 back on top and put the lid back in, and that's it.